Once again, good morning everyone. So like what I've mentioned, for today, we're gonna be discussing the problem set for accounting for equity. Similar to your other quizzes on liability, parang we're purely focusing on short probs and siguro a little bit of theory when it comes to equity. But the general idea is that we want you to master the journal entries in terms of taking note of your new kind of equity, particularly in terms of your corporation, which is total shareholder equity. So like what you've mentioned, maraming line items yan. When you look at the financial statements of different corporations, different companies, you'll be able to see sobrang daming line items. But in basic accounting, or at least in the foundation, what I want you to understand would be that there are technically two to three major chunks of your equity portion. One would be capital stock, or basically the shares that you're able to raise. So anything that has to do with stocks in shares that you have issued, whether it would be in the form of common shares, preference shares, share premium, or even treasury shares. Technically, that falls under what we call capital stock. The second would be basically how you're able to run your operations in the form of retained earnings. So in the latter half of our discussion last session, we talked about that marami pumapasok sa retained earnings like prior period errors, changes in valuation of equity. But the major chunks under retained earnings would be magkano ba yung kinita mo? Was it a net income or net loss? And magkano ba yung binigay mo? Or dividends? It looks unfamiliar now, but when you really go back to our initial discussion back in module 1, we go back to what is changes in owner's equity. It's beginning equity plus add or minus net income minus owner's drawings is equal to ending retained earnings, which is basically the retained earnings portion. Napalitan lang yung owner's drawings to quote-unquote dividends, which is basically yung binibigay or ginigive back mo for the investments. And then, finally, you'll have your total shareholders equity, which is just basically the sum of your capital stock, your retained earnings, and of course, other classifications that would affect your equity account. So let's start. First is let's focus in understanding our capital stock. So the purpose of this question actually is just to make you familiar about the key differences between ano ba yung legal capital, what are the requirements for your treasury shares, and how do you essentially answer or solve for total shareholder equity. So again, you can focus on journal entries, pero importante rin that you understand how everything works together. So some observations that I want you to take note. So, di ba we mentioned that there are two kinds of shares. You have your ordinary share capital or your CS and your preference share capital. And then may kanya-kanya silang share premium. So, APEC CS, APEC PS, or share premium, preference share. So, merong ordinary share capital, may preference share capital, and then the share premium, or basically the added paid in additional capital, they're just segmented on saan sila nanggaling. So some will be in terms of like the quote unquote excess in payments under ordinary share. So that's represented by your share premium ordinary share of 2.75 million. Or some share premium will come from the excess in payment in terms of preference share in terms of the 805,000. So rather than parang be intimidated, we just basically break this down. So when you encounter this, the first step that you have to do is take note, ano ba yung hindi part ng equity portion? So ang hindi part ng equity portion is obviously your notes payable because that's a liability. The rest are equity, even the receivable. It sounds like an asset, but in essence, parang this is used to actually offset the subscribed share capital. So for me, when I think of equity, I think of partners or pairs. Preference share capital or PS, ang kapartner niyan is APIC PS. Ordinary share capital or CS, ang kapartner niyan is APIC CS. Subscribed ordinary share capital or SSC, ang kapartner niya is subscription receivable. Everything is addition except the subscription receivable. So, SSC minus subscription receivable should be magkabangga tong dalawa. And then finally, you'll have retained earnings. So, let's look into it a little deeper. So, the next question is, what is legal capital? So, theory portion to. it doesn't make sense that magpapa-invest ka sa mga different shareholders and then you find a way or a mechanism to give it all back to them, right? Parang pinapaikot nila yung pera. There's this thing called the trust fund doctrine wherein whatever their investment is, you treat it as if you're holding it in trust on behalf of them. So the idea here is that kung ano yung initial investment nila, bawal mong ibalik sa kanila. The only way that you can give back your capital is through dividends. So, in theory, kapag par yung company, so again, what's the difference between par or no par? Yung par, nakastate sa Articles of Incorporation yung par value of the shares. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, kung ano yung baseline, which is basically, ano ba yung par value of not only just fully paid, but kahit subscribed lang, bawal mong ibalik yon to the owners or to the equity. Lahat ng excess, like lahat ng share premium, since they overpaid for it, sige fine, pwede mong ibalik. But the legal capital or the one that you cannot retain, you cannot return, are those that are up to the par value. So, pero, on the other hand, paano kung no par? It's stricter for those companies. Even the share premium, bawal mong ibalik, right? So for this company, how do you know kung par or no par? Well, obviously, because you can see na nakalagay par. So this is a par company. And the general idea is, you cannot return lahat ng share capital that has par value. So preference share capital, ordinary share capital, and finally, you'll have also yung subscribed ordinary share capital. So you ignore the subscription receivable and it's really the whole amount that they subscribe. So the idea here lang is that lahat ng share capital, regardless of fully paid, yung fully paid kasi dito is the preference share and the ordinary share. Ito, hindi pa to na-i-issue. Pero kahit subscribe lang siya, bawal mo pa rin ibalik. Right? So the answer here is just you add 2.3 million plus 5.25 million plus 50,000 and you'll have a legal capital of 7.6 million. And that legal capital is the amount that you cannot give back to your shareholders. So that is restrained to the company or to the equity. And then the next question, which is I think the more that we're familiar with, is okay, we know that 7.6 million is something that we cannot return. How much talaga yung valuation of the company in terms of total shareholder equity? So for this, please just follow the format, right? So like what I've mentioned, it comes in pairs. So first is you take note of your PS, so 2.3 million. You have your APIC PS at 805, so both are additions. These two refer to the total amount that you were able to issue your preference shares, right? The next would be your next class of shares, your CS and your APIC CS. So yung 5.25 and 2.75 million, ang ibig sabihin niyan, they were able to sell the whole issuance for common stock at 8 million. Yung 5.25 is at par and then the excess is 2.75. So all of these are still additions. So the first group is referring to PS, the second group is referring to CS. The next pair is you need to find ano ba yung net subscribed share capital. So technically, people actually subscribe 50,000 worth, right? Pero may less subscription receivable ka na 400,000. So this one will probably, outside of the context of the problem, comes from other subscription receivables that is not stated by in the problem. But generally, the idea here is you should net or less or subtract your subscription receivable. And then lastly, yung retained earnings, kung wala pa namang extra given, assume that is the ending retained earnings. So the only thing that you have to subtract is the 400,000. If you add everything, it should total 12.665 million, right? So that is the total shareholders equity, right? So basically add everything and that will be your total shareholder equity. And then the last question, which is more theory, is that yung treasury shares, the concept of it is that you buy back treasury shares. Pero you can only buy back treasury shares up to the portion that the retained earnings is unrestricted. Here in the problem, the retained earnings, so alalahanin nyo in the previous example, yung retained earnings na to of 2 million, but as long as may treasury shares ka, naka-restrict yung portion na yon. So, in this current period, the 2 million, may 600,000 na treasury shares ka. So, for this period, yung 2 million na yon, 1.4 is unrestricted and 600,000 is restricted for the current number of treasury shares. So, for the next period, ano lang yung maximum number of treasury shares that I can buy? It's only subject to the 1.4 unrestricted RE. So, similarly, in this question, ito, may treasury shares ba tayo? Wala. So, therefore, our retained earnings of 1.9 million is fully unrestricted. So, the total amount of treasury shares that we can buy is subject to the limit of 1.9 million. So, these are the different answers. Sorry, I think may typo lang dun sa THE, dun sa previous slide. That when you add everything together properly, it's 12.65, 12,655,000 pesos. So this is correct. And so this is the answer key for problem set 1. Any questions for theory? So, generally, in advanced accounting, mayroong mga rules in terms of appropriations and restrictions. For basic accounting, the only rule is, one, titingnan nyo yung whole equity portion, right? And then, titingnan nyo, may treasury shares ba dito? Pag may treasury shares, I don't need to tell you that you have to restrict it. So, for example, let's add an addendum for this. Yung retained earnings mo is 1.9. Pero meron ka isang line item dito, 900,000 worth of treasury shares. If I ask you for the next period, how much is the max capital that's allowed to buy treasury shares? The way you go about it is, okay, my total retained earnings is 1.9. May treasury shares of 900,000. So the restricted portion is 900,000. So ang remaining is 1 million. So yung mga restrictions, all you have to care about is kung may treasury shares in the current period or not. Para lang you'll know which one is unrestricted. Yeah, clear naman. So, with that, we can now move on to journal entries for capital stock, right? So, first is, please understand that in order for you to issue capital stock, either you'll raise money or you'll get other non-cash considerations in the form of legal services or in the form of land, right? So for this, ang tinitrain is, how do you journalize the whole issuance of for non-cash consideration under East Company? So for this, ang kailangan ko lang matutunan nyo is that for non-cash consideration, you just have to familiarize yourself of the valuation priority. So step 1, ideally you value in the fair value of the non-cash consideration received. Kung wala, it's the fair value of the shares issued. Kung wala, par value of the shares issued. So, let's put that into practice. So, si East Company raw issued 1,000 shares with 5 par to How as compensation for 1,000 hours of legal services. How usually bills 160 per hour for legal services, and the share was trading on a public exchange. So step 1, the par value is 5, but that's our lowest priority. Our second highest priority is fair value of shares. Sometimes it will tell you trading on a public exchange, that's fair value, right? Number 2. Our top priority is fair value of non-cash consideration. And this is actually the greatest learning for this problem set. Normal billing hours is not your fair value. It sometimes changes. So, pag nakita nyo normal billing, usually bills, it's not really what the market is gonna pay for. It's historical. Itong the way that they phrase this. So, this bills at 160 per hour is actually not the fair value. And therefore, you should value it at the fair value of the shares issued. So, pumunta kayo sa valuation property, fair value of non-cash received, technically, wala dito because normal billing is not that fair value. So, you go down to the next tier, you're gonna value it at fair value of the shares, which is at 140. So for issue ones, it's a compound journal entry, but just follow the three simple steps. So step one is always credit your capital stock at par. So how do you do it? It's 1,000 shares. I-multiply nyo lang always at 5 par. So 1,000 times 5 is equal to 5,000 CS, right? Next is you debit based on your valuation property. In this instance, wala tayong fair value of non-cash consideration. What we do have is the fair value of shares. So yung 1,000, rather than multiplying it by 5, you should multiply it by the fair value of the shares, which is 140. So 1,000 times 140 would be 140,000. And then you'll notice, bungi siya, right? You have a debit of 140,000, a credit of 5,000. There is a missing credit. And that missing credit will always be your share premium or your CS APIC or APIC CS, sometimes interchangeable naman siya. But the general idea is, 5,000 lang yung par. I actually received 140,000 worth of legal services. So yung excess of that par is a premium that I have to recognize as an additional equity component in the form of a share premium. So always three steps. Credit your capital stock at par. So always at par kapag issuance of share capital. Number two, debit depending on your valuation property. And then finally, step three, credit your share premium at 100 at the excess or how to squeeze it in order for it to be balanced. Right? The last thing that I want you to master is, of course, hindi tayo mag-end with journal entry. We'll end with the analysis. So it gave na the entity had a retained earnings of 865,000. The question is, what is the total shareholders' equity? Well, all you have to do is, okay, take note na meron tayong capital stock of 5,000, a share premium or APIC CS of 135,000, and the retained earnings of 865,000. So if I ask you, what is the total shareholders' equity? It's just 1,005,000 pesos. It's the capital stock plus RE. Yung capital stock is comprised of the 140,000, 5,000 is CS, 135,000 is CS APIC, and then 865,000 retained earnings. So you just basically add, right? So any questions for this particular problem? So yun yung answer for the one problem. So the expectation is, kailangan no matter what type of issuance, hindi na kayo matitinag in terms of journal entry. So some things to take note. Kapag original issuance, the company could never sell it at a discount. It's always gonna be a share premium. So meaning either they issue it at par or they issue it at share premium. So dapat madali lang yung the way that we're able to understand. So in the quiz, expect something similar to this particular type of question. Now, okay, we expect you to understand or create journal entries for each of the scenarios depending on the different types of issuances, right? So the idea here is that share premium, again, is the excess amount that you receive. Na para technically, I'm selling this at this particular par amount, pero if you go above and beyond, I'll treat it as an excess additional paid in capital in the form of a share premium, right? So in this case, it depends on your par value or your stated value, but your CS APIC will always be the one that is above your par value or your stated value. So let's apply. So first is January 10. So first thing to take note is, ano ba yung par value at 200,000, right? So, ano ba yung par value at 200,000? So, wait, I'll try to write this down. So, the par value is 200, right? And then it issued at 220. So, the only thing that you have to do is step 1, credit capital stock at par. So 25,000 shares times the 200 par value is equal to 5 million. So 25,000 times 200, 5 million. Pero magkano mo ba in-issue? You issued it technically at 220. So every share may excess na 20. So all you have to do is 25 times 220 is cash of 5.5 million. So ano yung excess? The excess is obviously the credit of 500,000 in the form of share premium. So other ways of solving for share premium without having to journalize the entry is 200 yung par. 220 niya binenta. The excess is 20. 20 times 25,000 is equal to 500,000. So that's the journal entry for January 10. Let's now move on to March 25. For March 25, again, we're gonna follow the valuation property. So step 1, credit your capital stock at par. So ang par value is again 200. So 1,000 shares times 200 would be 200,000. The next step is, how do you debit the non-cash consideration? Honestly, March 25 is similar to the previous item. It says normal billing. That's not the fair value. So what we have to use is the fair value of the share, which is at 240 a share. So 1 million times 240 is 240,000. Meron kang missing credit that would represent your share premium, which would be CS APIC of 40,000. And then lastly, for September 30, we issued 5,000 shares for a tract of land where the fair value of the land was 1.5 million. So here, again, step 1, credit CS at par. So ilang shares? 5,000 times 200 par value. You credit muna a 1 million capital stock. The next step is, magkano ba yung ide-debit ko in the form of the land? In this case, unlike the legal services, binigay yung fair value of the land. So rather than looking at the fair value of the shares, which is second priority, of course, we'll go to the top priority, which is the fair value of the land at 1.5 billion. So again, meron kang missing na credit, which will represent your CS APIC of 500,000. So at this point, you have 3 journal entries, right? It will then ask you, what is the total shareholder capital? Or what is the capital stock, total capital stock, or what is the total capital stock premium, right? So capital stock is 5,200,000 and 1 million, right? So basically, you'll have 6.2 capital stock. So if the question is, how much is the ordinary share capital at the end of the period? The answer is 6.2. What is the share premium for CS? All you have to do is add 500 plus 40 plus 500 is 1.04 million. So that's APEC CS. And then finally, how much is your total shareholders equity? You just add everything. So this is the correct answers for this particular item, right? So now we move on to our treasury shares, right? So treasury shares, all we have to do is look into understanding the 3 major components. But before that, the general idea is treasury shares is basically something that the company has an original issuance and then it buys back the shares as treasury shares and then they do not cancel the particular treasury share. So I will leave it up to you for theory. Ano yung 3 requisites, but the general idea should be this should be owned by the company, it should be issued originally, and the shares are reacquired but not cancelled. So this brings us to our level 3 na meron ka lang other contra equity account in the form of our treasury shares. Right? So we go through the acquisition, the reissuance, and the retirement. So treasury shares, this is the difference. Capital stock, preferred stock na at par or stated value, ang titingnan nyo doon is magkano ba yung par and magkano ba yung stated value. For treasury shares, para hindi kayo malito, you always look at the cost rather than the par. Right? So basically, you value them at the cost or the carrying amount of the asset of the non-cash consideration. And then when you reissue, yung share premium or yung discount, quote unquote, hindi niya ibe-base on the par. Ibe-base niya siya on how much niya siya nabili. So, common mistake is people still think about par value when it comes to treasury shares. When in fact, what's more important is how much mo nabili yung treasury shares mo at a cost per share. So in the examples, we'll share parang how to go about this, right? So, particularly for Day Company. So, Day Company held 10,000 shares of 10 par value as treasury reacquired for 120,000. At the year end, the entity reissued all 10,000 for 190. So, step one, what's the journal entry for the reacquisition? It's just, magkano ba yung cost? Magkano ba nila yung binayad? It's 120,000, right? Hindi siya same as the par value of 10, right? And then unlike yung mga parang issuance na mag-aano ka ng share premium, whatever, it doesn't matter. When you account for treasury shares, just tell me, what's your cost? Your cost is 120,000. That's how much I bought it for. That's how you value your treasury shares, at 120,000, right? The next step is, how do we record the reissuance? Yung same 10,000 treasury shares na kinuha ng company, i-reissue niya now at 190,000. So your compound journal entry will be the same, but there's a major tweak lang for treasury shares. First is you will still credit your treasury shares similar to your capital stock. But this time, rather than looking at it at the par value, what you have to look at is the cost value. So technically, the 10,000 shares was selling at 12 per share, right? So 10,000 times 12, 120,000. The next step is you debit. Magkano ba niya ni-reissue? Well, the price is 190,000. So the remaining credit is the only time you will recognize what we call your share premium, right? Which is at 70,000. So basically, that's the answer for the two questions for this particular set of questions for Day Company. So the general idea lang here that I wanted to bring out is, sa treasury shares, what's important is the cost. You ignore your par value, right? Next is, we go to the retirement of these shares, right? So here, it looks very confusing, pero if you're very organized, hindi ka mawawala. And rather than discussing this slide, which is basically the general theory, let's just look at the problem for Rona Company, right? So Rona Company issued 50,000 shares of 10 par value. So question, treasury shares ba to or capital common stock? At this point, it's just the common stock, right? So here, what we have to do is look at the par value. So 50,000 times 10 par value is 500,000. And then you look at the debit, which is magkano ba in-issue? Well, in-issue niya pala at 100 per share. So 100 times 50, you'll have 5 million. And then meron kang excess of 4.5 million na credit, which will be in the form of your APEC CS. Right? So this journal entry, kindly take note, refers to 50,000 shares. Right? Out of the 50,000, ang nangyari is it reacquired 2,000 shares. So, bumili siya ng 2,000 shares at 150 per share. So now, dahil treasury share yung tinitingnan natin, we do not look at the par value. Kung 150 per share times 2,000 shares, your treasury share will now be valued at 300,000. Makes sense, right? 150 times 2,000 shares is 300,000. Yun rin yung cash outlay mo to buy 2,000 of that share. The last thing that happened before the cancellation was, out of the 2,000 shares, may 1,000 kang ni-reissue at 155 per share. So here, ang titingnan natin, rather than the par value, would be step 1, credit your treasury share at cost. The cost was 100 50 per share. So 1,000 times 150 will be treasury share of 150,000. Magkano niya binenta? It reissued it at 1,000 times 155. So technically, mabibenta niya at 155 cash. So ano yung excess na credit? That will represent your TS APIC or your APIC TS at 5,000. So at this point, you will have the following APIC CS, APIC TS, and then your CS and your TS account, right? So now, let's go to cancellation. So cancellation, rather than be intimidated, it's just a bigger form of the compound journal entry. The general idea is this. Yung treasury share has a normal debit account. So you want to derecognize it. So the first step is to credit your treasury share at cost. So may remaining kang 1,000, binili niya at 150. So 1,000 times 150 will be 150,000. Yung treasury shares na yon, it will then try to lower down your capital stock. So your capital stock should be debited. So step 2 is ide-debit mo yung capital stock not at cost but at par. So ilang shares yung ika-cancel? 1,000 shares. Yung 1,000, kanina, for the treasury shares, we multiplied it by 150, which was the cost of the treasury shares. This time, for our capital stock, we multiply the 1,000 by the par value, which is at 10. So you'll have CS of 10,000 pesos. So as you can see, may butal. There's a big debit that's missing in the form of 140,000. The question is, saan mo ide-debit yung 140,000? Well, you will debit it into three major accounts. First one would be you will debit it in pro rata for the share premium for those particular shares. So, ang major reaction ng mga tao would be 4.5 million naman yung share premium ko or yung APIC CS. I'll just debit the whole 140,000 doon sa APIC CS. That's wrong. Because this share premium refers to 50,000 shares. What we're canceling is just 1,000 worth. So the next question would be, paano ko malalaman yung APIC CS na referring lang to the 1,000 shares? Well, you look back dun sa, paano ba natin nakuha to? This is the difference between the 100 selling price and the par value of 10. That is 90 pesos per share. So kung 90 pesos per share yung share premium, you multiply 90 by 1,000 shares, you'll get CS APIC of 90,000 per share, ay 90,000 APIC premium. So, hindi pa siya nauubos yung 140,000. The next step would be, what would be the APIC TS that is remaining? The APIC TS that's remaining is 5,000. So, we fully deduct that at 5,000. And then, finally, any missing account na hindi pa rin nagpapabalance sa kanya, we squeeze in sa retained earnings. So that's 45,000. So that is basically the journal entry for your retirement. Any questions for this? Okay. So, yung 90, wait, second, wait lang. I'll try to look for a marker. Feeling ko mas madali. Wait lang. So now you're done with creating the journal entry for your retirement. So ito yung answer key for the problem. So now the last step is to account for your retained earnings with the idea na i-complete na natin yung picture. So see us, Cyan Company will help us in terms of this particular problem. So ito, it looks like there's a lot of information, pero all you have to do is follow the format, right? Partners lang siya. So, CS, APIC CS, Treasury Shares, APIC TS, and then retained earnings. And then retained earnings na ito, will come from this particular idea. So, itong ending RE na to just refers to this particular line. So, all you have to do when it comes to these questions is to put it in the right place. So, first, you issued 200 shares of 5 par value at $10 per share. So, therefore, to get CS, it's 200,000 times 5, right? So, 1 million. And then yung isa, Apex CS of 1 million. So, here, you'll have capital stock of 1 million and then Apex CS of 1 million. Next is, may retained earnings ka raw at 3 million. You'd think na this is where the retained earnings should come from, but that's wrong. It's January 1. So, this is your beginning retained earnings at 3 million. Right? In March 20, nag-reacquire ka ng 50,000 treasury shares at 20 per share. So the journal entry would be debit treasury share of 1 million times credit cash of 1 million. So yung TS mo, and then ni-reissue mo at 25 per share. So the journal entry here would be this one, right? So credit treasury share at cost. So it's 20 per share times 10,000. So credit treasury shares of 200,000. You were able to issue it at 25 times 10,000. So that's cash of 250,000. So you'll have an APEC TS of 50,000. So by doing that, yung effect niya dun sa THS, total shareholder equity formula natin would be that our treasury shares right now would be 1 million debit minus 200,000 credit. So our treasury shares would be at 800,000. On the other hand, our APEC TS is at 50,000. Right? And then finally, the last step is yung net income morale is 600,000 and your cash dividends, which is a deduction, is at 50,000. So therefore, you'll be able to complete the picture. So step 1, what is your ending retained earnings? It's beginning RE, add net income minus net loss minus dividends. You'll have an ending RE of 3.55 million. Yung 3.55 million na yan, ililipat na natin dun sa total shareholder equity formula natin. And then basically, you just have to add all of this. 1 million capital stock, 1 million share premium, less treasury shares of 800,000, add your APEC TS of 50,000, and then you'll have retained earnings of 3.55 million, which will give you a total shareholder equity of 4.8 million. Right? So basically, that's the answer for this particular problem. So again, kindly take note of the journal entries. Pero ang importante rin is you know how to make sense of all of the ending balances of each. So the last topic is dividends. And again, there are 3 dates that are important sa dividends. Declaration date is the date that we lessen our retained earnings. Record date is something that we ignore when it comes to journalizing entries. And then payment date is when we de-recognize our dividend payable. Right? So, the idea lang here is that for stock dividends, binababaan lang natin yung retained earnings pero tumataas yung share capital. So, you'll see that in the in the next examples. And then, ang importante lang here is that small share dividend is anything less than 20%. 20% and above is a large share dividend. If it's a small share dividend, use the fair value on the declaration date. So, in the quiz, we will give you fair value on declaration date, payment date, record date. Kailangan alam nyo that you should use the fair value on the declaration date. Next is, pag more than 20%, you should use the par value. So, let's look at an example. So, at the beginning, may RE ka of 4 million. May net income ka of 2 million. And then, basically, it will tell you may treasury shares ka na 720,000. We ignore that because we're just looking for retained earnings. We declared a cash dividends of 1.2. So, sa declaration pa lang, the journal entry would be RE, cash dividends. So, therefore, yung beginning RE mo will now have a deduction of 1.2. And in the form of dividends. And then, nagkaroon ka pa ng small share dividend. So, small share. So, dahil small share, what we have to do is the fair value at 20. So, 20 times 6,000 shares should be 1.2 million. So, again, another deduction of 1.2. So, debit RE of 1.2, debit RE of 1.2. So, therefore, our ending RE should be 3.6 million. So beginning RE of 4 million plus 2 million net income less the dividends of 2.4 million is your ending RE of 3.6 million. And then finally, the last question or the last portion would be Gray Company. So again, it's looking for the total shareholders' equity. And the only thing that I want you to take note for this particular scenario is the following, right? Gusto kong i-prove sa inyo that your shareholder equity before and after a stock dividends is equal. Hindi magbabago yung total shareholder equity nyo when you issue a stock dividend. Let's look at this example. So first is, nag-issue ka raw ng share capital at 2 million. So basically, I'm just highlighting the things that are given. May share premium ka of 3 million and may retained earnings ka of 1.5 million. If you add all of this, 2 million plus 3 million plus 1.5 million, your total shareholder equity before the stock issuance is at 6.5 billion, right? So this is before. If it's after, we'll look at what's the effect, right? So now, nagkaroon ka ng stock issuance. Nag-issue ka ng 4,000 shares ng stock issuance. The question is, this 4,000 shares, is this a small or a large? Para hindi kayo malito, kindly take note of the following. Remember, meron kang what you call your authorized number of shares na in your lifetime, pag walang binago sa Articles of Incorporation, you can only share 50,000. And then you'll have 20,000, which is, out of the 50,000, ito yung fully paid and subscribed. How would you know where to divide it? Is it 4,000 divided by 50,000 or 4,000 divided by 20,000? The answer is, you divide it based on the number of outstanding shares. So, to know kung small or large dividend to, what you have to do is divide 4,000 by 20, and then you'll get 20%. Right? And dahil 20% to, that's a large share dividend. Right? So it's a large share dividend. And therefore, we use the par value. So what do you mean by par value? 4,000 times 100 should be what should be deducted to your retained earnings. Kaya debit RE 400, credit stock dividend 400. So your RE will be deducted. Pero during the payment date, ang mangyayari is mag-i-issue ka ng common stock worth 400,000. So here, the capital stock would be 400,000. So I think the question in the problem was, how much is your capital stock after the payment date? It's 2.4 million. How much is the retained earnings after the declaration of your dividends? It's 900,000. But if you add all of this, 2.4 million plus 3 million plus 1.5 million minus 400,000, your shareholder equity will still be 6.5 million. Ano lang nangyari? Bumaba si retained earnings, tumaas si capital stock in the amount of the stock dividend. Right? Itong 400,000, bumaba si RE, pero yun yung tinaas ni common stock. And therefore, this should still be 6.5 million pesos. Right? So pareho lang siya before or after. So in theory, if I ask you, total shareholders' equity changes after a stock issuance, the answer is false. It stays the same. Ang nag-iba lang is the component of your equity. So with that, we're formally done with our deep dive for equity. Any questions before I end today's problem set? So if there are none, yun, I think we'll have our face-to-face quiz next meeting. So it would be super similar to your problem set. So focus on journal entries and also basically finding out ano yung mga retained earnings, legal capital, total shareholder equity, share premium. Those are the things to look out for there. So thank you so much, everyone. Yeah. Thank you.